Have you ever pondered about the origin of language? How did we move from primal grunts to the complex system of communication we have today? In the grand tapestry of human history, language stands as one of our most incredible achievements. But our journey to this point was not a simple one. It is a tale of evolution and adaptation, of necessity and innovation. Let's step back in time to a world before words. Long before we were constructing sentences, our ancestors were using simple sounds and gestures to convey basic needs and emotions. This was the dawn of language, a time when communication was as raw as it was essential. Over time, these simple sounds evolved, becoming more nuanced and varied. Here, we encounter a few theories that try to explain this process. First, we have the bow-wow theory. This suggests that our ancestors started to mimic the sounds of the animals around them, leading to the first rudimentary words. Then, there's the poo-poo theory. This proposes that our early language was born out of instinctive emotional cries and exclamations. Fear, pain, surprise, joy. These powerful emotions could have sparked the first syllables of human language. Last but not least, we have the yo-he-ho theory. This posits that rhythmic sounds made during collective physical effort, like hauling a heavy object or building a shelter, eventually morphed into a form of communal communication. It's important to note that none of these theories are mutually exclusive. It's entirely possible that all three played a role in shaping the first human languages. But regardless of which theory or theories are correct, one thing is clear. Language began as a way to respond to the world around us. It was a survival tool, a means to express basic needs and emotions. But as our societies grew more complex, so did our means of communication. We began to develop more sophisticated sounds and symbols, paving the way for the languages we know today. As humans evolved, so did their means of communication, paving the way for the development of more complex language systems. This journey from primal grunts to intricate grammar is indeed a fascinating tale of evolution, adaptation, and human ingenuity. As humans developed, so did their need for a more structured form of communication. But how did this structure come into existence? Let's dive right in and explore. Picture the early humans, their lives filled with daily struggles for survival. Their means of communication was likely basic, consisting mostly of grunts and gestures. But as they started forming larger social groups, the need for more expressive and nuanced communication emerged. This is where the birth of structure in language takes place. The emergence of grammar and syntax, the rules governing the use of language, was not a sudden event, but a gradual process. Humans began to arrange their words in a particular order to convey specific meanings, leading to the development of syntax. Imagine a simple sentence like, "Man bites dog." Even in this three-word sentence, the order of the words matters significantly. If we switch it around to "dog bites man," the meaning changes entirely. That's the power of syntax. Meanwhile, grammar provided the framework for constructing sentences. It determined how words and phrases could be combined to form meaningful expressions. For instance, in English, we usually follow the pattern of subject-verb-object, like "I eat apples." This structure, though it might seem basic, allows us to express complex thoughts and ideas. The development of structure in language likely happened out of necessity. As humans began to engage in more complex tasks, they needed a way to express abstract concepts, share detailed instructions, and relay intricate narratives. Over time, these rules became ingrained in our minds, shaping the way we think and communicate. Linguists call this phenomenon the language instinct, a built-in capability humans have for understanding and using language. So, the birth of structure wasn't just a leap in language development, but also a leap in human cognitive abilities. It allowed us to share our thoughts, ideas, and experiences with unprecedented clarity and depth, paving the way for civilization as we know it. The birth of structure in language was a significant milestone in its evolution, enabling humans to communicate more effectively. It was indeed a turning point that forever changed the course of human history. Imagine a world without writing. Difficult, isn't it? But there was a time when writing didn't exist. So how did we come to invent this crucial tool? The earliest form of writing that we know of is pictographs, simple pictures used to represent objects or ideas. Picture a prehistoric man huddled in a cave, scratching images of bison and deer onto the wall. This was the birth of written language, born out of necessity to record hunts and to communicate with others. As societies grew more complex, so did their needs for communication. Pictographs gradually evolved into ideograms, where images represented not just objects, but concepts. For example, a picture of a foot might no longer just mean foot, but could also symbolize to walk or to go. But such systems were limited. They could not accurately convey abstract ideas, emotions, or the subtleties of spoken language. Enter the Sumerians around 4,000 years ago. They developed cuneiform, a system of wedge-shaped marks made on clay tablets. This was a breakthrough because it was the first time we see symbols being used to represent sounds, not just concepts or objects. Yet, the real game changer was the invention of the alphabet, the system we're all familiar with today. The Phoenicians, master traders of the ancient world, needed a simple, flexible system to record their transactions. So, they devised an alphabet where each symbol represented a single sound. This was revolutionary because it meant that any word in any language could be written down using a small set of symbols. The impact of writing on human society cannot be overstated. It allowed us to record history, to spread ideas, to codify laws. It let us communicate across vast distances and through time, preserving the thoughts of those long gone. It gave birth to literature, to science, to all the knowledge we have today. The invention of writing revolutionized human communication, allowing language to transcend time and space. From one language to over 7,000. How did this explosion of languages happen? That's what we're going to delve into now. Our journey starts thousands of years ago, when humans were still living in small, isolated groups. Each group developed its own unique way of communicating, its own language. Over time, as these tribes moved, mixed and mingled, their languages did too, evolving and branching off into countless new tongues. This process is known as language diversification, and it's a fascinating testament to human adaptability. Just like biological species, languages evolve, split, and diversify. They adapt to their environments, influenced by factors such as geography, culture, and isolation. Geography, for example, plays a crucial role. Mountain ranges, oceans, and deserts can act as natural barriers, isolating communities and allowing their languages to develop independently. Think about the indigenous tribes in the Amazon rainforest, each with their own distinctive language, shaped by the unique environment they inhabit. Culture, too, has a powerful influence on language diversification. Each society has its own traditions, beliefs, and ways of life, all of which are reflected in their language. In the Arctic, for instance, the Inuit have dozens of words for snow, each one describing a different type, texture, or condition. And then there's isolation. When communities are cut off from each other, their languages can evolve in completely different directions. The languages of the remote Pacific Islands are a prime example, with each island developing its own unique tongue. These factors, geography, culture, and isolation, have led to the amazing diversity of languages we see today. From the intricate sign languages of the deaf community to the clicking sounds of the Khoisan languages in Africa, each one is a unique product of human ingenuity, shaped by the environment and the culture of its speakers. The diversity of languages we see today is a testament to the adaptability and creativity of the human race. And as our world changes, our languages will continue to evolve, reflecting our endless capacity for innovation and adaptation. Language has come a long way from its primitive origins, but where is it headed in the future? As we forge ahead into the uncharted territory of tomorrow, the evolution of language is set to take some fascinating turns. The catalysts for this evolution: technology, globalization, and the rise of artificial intelligence. Let's consider technology first. With the rise of digital communication, we're seeing a shift in the way language is used. The internet, social media, and instant messaging have all fueled the creation of the new words, phrases, and ways of expressing ourselves. Emojis, hashtags, and text speak are now integral parts of our language landscape. They represent a new kind of linguistic flexibility, adapting rapidly to changing cultural and technological contexts. Next, let's turn to globalization. As our world becomes increasingly interconnected, so do our languages. We're seeing a fascinating cross-pollination of languages, with new words and phrases being borrowed and adapted across linguistic borders. This blending and borrowing is enriching our languages, making them more diverse and dynamic than ever before. But perhaps the most intriguing factor shaping the future of language is artificial intelligence. AI is not just learning our languages, it's starting to influence them. With machine learning algorithms, AI can generate new words, phrases, and even complete sentences. And as AI becomes more sophisticated, it's likely to play an increasingly significant role in shaping our linguistic future. However, while technology, globalization, and AI are influencing language evolution, it's important to remember that language is fundamentally a human endeavor. It's a reflection of our thoughts, our cultures, our identities. As such, it will continue to evolve in ways that reflect our changing world and our changing selves. The future of language is as exciting as its past. As we continue to evolve, so will our means of communication. This evolution is a testament to our creativity, adaptability, and ceaseless desire to connect with each other. And that in itself is a fascinating story worth telling. The evolution of language is a fascinating journey, one that mirrors the journey of humanity itself. From the first guttural grunts of our distant ancestors to the complex grammatical structures we use today, each linguistic leap has been a stepping stone in our collective story. We began at the dawn of language, exploring how primitive forms of communication gradually evolved. Our ancestors, through necessity and ingenuity, developed ways to express their needs, emotions, and observations. This was the first spark of language, the initial whisper in a conversation that would span millennia. We then charted the birth of structure in language. Syntax and grammar, once non-existent, began to form and shape the way we shared our thoughts. This structure gave language a solid foundation, enabling more complex communication and, in turn, more intricate societies. Next, we navigated the rise of writing. This monumental advancement allowed us to preserve our thoughts and experiences, to share them across time and space. It was here that language became not just a tool for communication, but a vehicle for history, culture, and knowledge. We then journeyed through the diversification of language, witnessing the birth of countless languages and dialects, each one a unique expression of the people who speak it, a vibrant thread in the tapestry of human experience. Finally, we gazed into the future of language. With technology rapidly evolving, we can only guess at the new forms of communication that await us. But one thing is certain, language in all its forms will continue to evolve with us, shaping and being shaped by our collective journey. In understanding the evolution of language, we gain insight into our own history and development. Each word we speak, each sentence we write is a testament to the countless generations who came before us. They are the echoes of our past, guiding us into the future. Language, in its myriad forms, is a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. It has been and will continue to be a vital tool in our journey as a species.